Have you ever wondered how long it would take to watch every film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
I don't know, how much time you got?
Or how many nicknames Tony Stark has given people?
Underoos!
Well, we sat down and binge-watched every single Marvel movie. And we didn't even need a killbot like Ultron to help calculate these figures and more in this MCU edition of By the Numbers. And of course, spoiler alert for the population of Under a Rock who haven't seen these movies yet.
With the massiveness of Avengers Endgame evident all around, it's the perfect time to look back at the slightly smaller movie that started it all and the Iron Man cast that never was.
Sometimes you gotta run before you can walk.
Long before there was a Marvel Cinematic Universe, various Hollywood studios developed an Iron Man movie, with Nicolas Cage as the first actor attached to the title character with a complex past back in 1996. That version never materialized, and Cage went on to another Marvel superhero years later, 2007's Ghost Rider.
Let's ride.
Tom Cruise took interest in the character a few years later and commissioned his own script, co-written by the great Stan Lee. His Tony Stark also never got going, and the rights went through various directors before landing with Jon Favreau. The Elf director and comic book fan first offered Iron Man to Hugh Jackman, who was already well established as Wolverine, and turned it down.
Because I'm the best there is at what I do.
Favreau also considered Clive Owen and Sam Rockwell, eventually casting the latter as Justin Hammer in Iron Man 2, a role Al Pacino was considered for.
Were you talking to the right guy?
However, after reportedly seeing Robert Downey Jr. in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, Favreau invited the actor to audition on the same day he was also auditioning Timothy Olyphant. Favreau felt like Downey, because of his rocky personal history and how it played out in public, was ideal for the part and cast him as Stark, spawning a classic character and endless memes.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
For Iron Man's love interest, Pepper Potts, Favreau offered the role to Rachel McAdams, who passed on the then unproven superhero brand, but later entered the MCU in 2016's Doctor Strange. That cleared the way for Gwyneth Paltrow, who was excited about filming a short drive from her Los Angeles home.
I actually don't think that you could tie your shoes without me.
Casting Nick Fury was easy, as the character in the comics was already based on Samuel L. Jackson, and Favreau was so happy with his casting of Clark Gregg as Agent Phil Coulson that he wrote out the character to be much bigger.
If you attempt to leave or play any games, I will tase you and watch Super Nanny while you drool into the carpet.
The same cannot be said for Terrence Howard's take on Rhodey. Even though he was reportedly the first cast and highest paid actor on Iron Man, he was replaced in future Marvel movies by Don Cheadle.
Next time, baby.
Iron Man went on to gross over $600 million worldwide, reviving Robert Downey Jr.'s career and laying the groundwork for the Marvel Cinematic Universe that has changed Hollywood forever.
It's an imperfect world, but it's the only one we've got.
As the mutants go intergalactic,
We're doing space missions now. Cool.
Dark Phoenix and its killer last trailer may prove that after 20 years of big ups and downs, since 2000, there have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 movies in the X-Men series. And sure, they've done some wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff to erase a few mistakes along the way, but if the franchise can weather a storm like this...
Do you know what happens to a toad when it's struck by lightning? The same thing that happens to everything else.
They can last stand through any apocalypse.
Go yourself.
Anyway, writer-producer Simon Kinberg has been an influential creative X-Force for 8 of the films, and Dark Phoenix marks his directorial debut. He first came aboard to co-write the 3rd film, The Last Stand, with Zach Penn, but the production was troubled to say the least. Directors dropped out, deadlines were rushed, and 2 groundbreaking comic book storylines were crammed into what became the lowest-rated film by IMDb fans.
Maybe it's time for us to move on.
Not everybody heals as fast as you, Logan.
And Kinberg has been waiting to take another crack at one of those comic books, the Dark Phoenix Saga, since his Days of Future Past screenplay reset some important story elements, like making Jean Grey not dead anymore.
Whoa. Easy, pal.
Some things never change.
Some fear that Dark Phoenix may never see the light of day due to the Disney-Fox deal enveloping the mutants into the MCU. But Marvel mastermind Kevin Feige has assured everyone that it'll be a very long time before the X-Men join the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Because you are afraid of our gifts. Because we are different.
Since Feige says the X-Men aren't in his 5-year plan, Kinberg has room to let his new Phoenix breathe. The original saga was told in 2 parts over 18 issues, so Sophie Turner could potentially return to the role or to outer space if the film takes flight.
Who are you? The better question is, who are you?
Now, Dark Phoenix isn't the only 2019 X-Men movie, as the New Mutants should finally be unleashed in August. The movie shot from July to September 2017 for an April 2018 release, even dropping a trailer in October 2017, but it got pushed over a year for scarier reshoots.
You've been through a lot. Get some rest.
While the franchise's future may seem uncertain after those 2 titles, the final Dark Phoenix trailer bodes well for fans of the comic books. Kinberg did have to stray from the original in one respect, since First Class already used the Hellfire Club and their infamous White Queen.
You're never going to get anything from me while I'm like this.
While Jessica Chastain's mysterious supervillain may include a few Emma Frosty elements, she's more of a gender-flipped mastermind, aka Jason Wingard, a powerful mutant who can alter or erase memories, corrupting Jean Grey and turning her evil.
When I lose control, bad things happen. But it feels good.
With Dark Phoenix doing the comic books justice, and Deadpool finding his footing with 2 smash hits that'll definitely spawn a threequel, or that long-promised X-Force team-up, we have faith that these mutants won't take another last stand anytime soon.
Are you threatening me?
That's right.
That would be a bad idea.
Including 2019's Captain Marvel, there have been 21 films with 37 mid- or post-credit sequences, totaling nearly 2 days in total runtime. There have been 21 cameos by the late, great Marvel legend himself, Stan Lee, and although he's passed away, he'll be posthumously gracing fans with at least one more appearance in Avengers Endgame. Highest grossing domestic goes to Black Panther, worldwide goes to Avengers Infinity War, and grand total worldwide for all MCU films is over 18 billion. Around 10 years have passed in the MCU since Iron Man, but it goes back further to 1942 if you want to count Captain America. Or even further if you count the Battle of Tonsberg in 965 AD in Thor. Or even further, 65 million years ago in Wakanda in Black Panther. Or the creation of time itself with the Infinity Stones. Or maybe even more time in the astral plane in Doctor Strange. Is time a thing there? This is the number of countries visited on Earth, and the number of places visited on not Earth. But let's get to the action. This is the number of times Iron Man shot his hand repulsors, which took place over the course of him physically piloting 17 different suits in 9 different movies, giving him the most screen time of any character. And let's not forget the rest of the team. We've got Cap's shield throws.
That thing does not obey the laws of physics at all.
The number of Mjolnir throws. And the number of Stormbreaker throws. Hawkeye's arrows.
Find a tight corner.
Spider-Man webbing someone. Doctor Strange's circle motion hands. Black Widow's kind of scissor leg move. Number of times Falcon talked on his walkie while touching his goggles.
His name is Redwing.
And Vision phasing through things.
Biz, we talked about this.
Ant-Man's smallest size is roughly 1/1000th of half a nanogram, but it really could be infinitely smaller. But how about his biggest size? According to Ant-Man himself, he said
65 feet.
But he got even bigger in this scene where we compared his size to the reported length of this actual Blue and Gold Fleet tour boat, according to US Maritime Intelligence, putting him at an estimated 166 feet. And let's not forget Bruce Banner. His total screen time is 2 hours 15 seconds, but his Hulk green time is 30 minutes 49 seconds, which means he spent roughly 25.6% of the time as the Hulk. We've also got the number of times Groot said,
I am Groot.
I am Groot.
I am Groot.
I am Groot.
No!
a line which Vin Diesel recorded in 16 different languages for Guardians 2.
Yo soy Groot. Yo soy Groot.
As well as the number of times Tony Stark said
Jarvis?
Jarvis.
Jarvis?
Jarvis. Jarvis.
Jarvis?
which is pretty close to the number of nicknames he's given various people throughout the movies.
Reindeer games.
Capsicle. No hard feelings, Point Break. For head of security? Manchurian candidate? Flash Gordon.
Flash Gordon.
Now let's get a little personal.
No! What the hell?
Number of on-screen romantic kisses. Number of times characters you thought were dead came back. Loki did it twice. Or maybe 3 times. Number of parental figures whose death directly or indirectly motivated the actions of a prominent character. And Winter Soldier killed both of Tony's parents. And normally we would go through and try to find out which scene had the most casualties, but hey, that's pretty easy. It was this. With one finger snap, Thanos killed half of all life in the universe, potentially giving him the highest kill count in all of movie history. And as a result, the number of children and adults who were scarred for life is still climbing. We'd like to conclude this video by thanking the MCU for creating a lush, complex world of characters and storylines we can fall in love with, while at the same time argue about incessantly.
On August 1st, Disney announced that production had begun on Ant-Man and the Wasp, for release on July 6th, 2018. The Paul Rudd, Evangeline Lilly, Michael Douglas, and Michelle Pfeiffer picture falls into the latter half of Phase 3 of the ever-growing Marvel Cinematic Universe. And before another comic book movie hits the big screen, A is for Avengers. As much as we love the standalone films like Ant-Man and the Wasp, it's all about the main events when all the supers team up for an Avengers movie. Formerly, Iron Man, Cap, and the gang were getting 2 movies to fight the Infinity War, but the 2 parts will now be just 1, hitting theaters May 4th, 2018. And a mysterious untitled Avengers film is slated for May 3rd, 2019, which ends Phase 3 of the MCU. Will a number of our favorite heroes perish to make way for a younger crew led by Spider-Man? B is for Black Panther. San Diego Comic-Con gave us a few sneak peeks into the world of Wakanda, the home of Black Panther. The movie drops on February 6, 2018 and features an all-star cast of Chadwick Boseman, Michael B. Jordan, Lupita Nyong'o, Denai Guerrera, Martin Freeman, and Andy Serkis. Picking up shortly after Captain America Civil War ended, T'Challa must stop a world war when 2 enemies threaten to destroy Wakanda. C is for Captain Marvel. We first heard that Brie Larson was confirmed to play Carol Danvers at Comic-Con 2016, and since then not much else has been added to the story. Although, at SDCC 2017, Disney did reveal that the story will be set in the 90s. We got a glimpse of her costume. We learned that Nick Fury will have 2 eyes instead of his signature 1 and an eye patch combo, and the Skrulls, a race of shape-shifting extraterrestrials, will make their MCU debut.